Everything you need to know about forced reset triggers, and at the end, a story that will make your blood run cold. Let's go.
Was it freedom from Johnson City?
Well, a big shazam to you people. Y'all ask me all the time to deep dive topics that matter. I got one for you today. I'm going to deep dive. I'm going to read a whole bunch of stuff, and this matters to all of us, including me. And I wasn't being hyperbolic. This final story that I'm going to share with you, if you'll stick with me, makes my blood run cold. This dude is facing 5 years in federal prison over an inanimate object and no victim. A victimless crime. Forced reset triggers. This fun is brought to you by this one. We the people have had enough. I don't know if it's available in either 5 or 6 colors. It's a lot. We got a huge selection, all the sizes, softest tees in the game. We the people have had enough. TriStarTrading.com or link is down below. You people, thanks for every thumbs up. I had a blast on Friday. How fun was Friday's episode? When I get it back from editing, shout out to Luke. When Luke sends it over to me, I'm always like, I see what he does. And I laughed too. Y'all send a lot of thumbs up over the weekend. Thank you. Thank you. Get yourself subscribed. Comment of the day. Next, Gwen says, my family and I watch your show every day. Tomorrow, 10/13, is my husband Nick's birthday, and we would like to wish him happy birthday. His favorite is the American Shotgun Guy and the Happy B-Day Guy. Hey, Gwen, thanks for shouting out. Nick, everybody, shout out to Nick down in the comments section. Nick, happy birthday. This goes out to you.
Happy birthday to you. Get some.
All right, forced reset triggers. I'm not getting into the nuts and the bolts and the screws on this one, but it is a trigger that you can put into a lot of different firearms. And because of the way it works, it makes the boom boom go boom, 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 boom. But it is not a machine gun. And that distinction should be made very clear. Now, the term forced reset trigger, you're going to hear FRT repeatedly over the next few minutes. I'm going to read a ton here. I have to get this right. I have some of this stuff I've pulled. I've been over the ATF, the DOJ's websites. I've been on Reddit. I've been all over the place today getting ready for this, but I need to get it right, and allow me to read a little bit. And then again, at the end, we're going to be sharing a crazy story. All right. The Genesis 2004, Brian Blakely submitted a patented design to the ATF. ATF determination was that it was a machine gun. Wolf Tactical submitted the Flex Fire for determination. ATF determined that it was a machine gun. 223 patent submitted for FRT. There you go. Prototype patent office approved. Ding! Rare Breed Triggers purchases the 223 patent in 2020 and develops plans to bring it to market, understanding it would be a contested item. Of course, Rare Breed Triggers brings the FRT-15 to market in 2020. ATF sent cease and desist to Rare Breed in July of 21. ATF raids RBT's Rare Breed Triggers manufacturer in 22. Let me pause right there. Y'all remember this. And it's always scary for me to see the ATF going in after, again, inanimate objects. I'm not a fan. We covered that on this channel and a lot of other channels. Rare Breed Trigger purchases the original Blakely patent in 22 and continues to develop product with and additional patents. With ATF continuing to classify FRTs as machine guns, they're not. RBT can't get manufacturing easily. In January of 23, the DOJ files a federal lawsuit against RBT in New York and obtains an ex parte temporary restraining order against RB. That TRO later turns into a preliminary injunction and effectively shuts down RBT's business. Y'all remember that? Later in 23, Rare Breed Triggers teams up with NAGR to bring a case against the ATF and the DOJ in federal court in the Northern District of Texas. Woo! RBT and NAGR succeed in the Texas litigation and obtain a ruling that apply to the plaintiffs in the case, but the DOJ refuses to drop the case in New York against RBT. It's a mess. It's a lot of money being spent, a lot of time and effort over. Any guesses? An inanimate object and no victims. The DOJ files an appeal in the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals in an attempt to reverse the Texas court's ruling. In May of 25, under a new admin, the DOJ dismisses its case against RBT in New York, withdraws its appeal of the Texas ruling in the Fifth Circuit, and enters into a settlement agreement with RBT. And that's the crux of today, this settlement agreement. Let me scan down here. This right here is from the DOJ's actual website. I pulled it just a few minutes ago. Department of Justice announces settlement of litigation between federal government and rare breed triggers. Here is the actual agreement. I have the PDF. You can find it online. Super easy. And in that agreement, Rare Breed, what they have to do is they have to now be enforcing their own patent themselves. And I get that. That all makes sense to me. And then in June of 25, the DOJ orders that all seized FRTs be returned to their owners. This is from the ATF's website. I pulled this today. If you weren't tracking this a while back, the ATF actually went and seized FRTs and the wide open triggers from individuals. My understanding is some were actually, they went into some gun shops and actually took those. This is from the ATF's actual website. Rare breed triggers, FRT 15s and wide open triggers return. They're going to send them back to you. They just need your name and address. What a mess. Now, Rare Breed this is from the press release, spent an enormous amount of time and money fighting the federal government to prove that the FRT designs are not machine guns. Part of the settlement included the requirement for Rare Breed to enforce the patent that they hold while also agreeing not to design any sort of FRTs for handguns. So they had to promise daddy government, oh, I promise we won't make them for the little ones. We'll just make them for the big ones. It makes no sense, but we're dealing with the Fed. Here's some interesting news, and we're going to talk about bump stocks. Rare Breed is now turning its focus to developing new products. RBT is currently working on FRTs for the MP5, CZ Scorpion, AK-47, and the 1022. All right, this is just full disclosure. This is me, and I really want you all to separate me from this information. We all have our opinions. I'm going to give you mine. I think they're really dumb. I think they don't serve a big practical purpose if you're defending your house or lighting off stuff lights off in your neighborhood, how to solve problems. I don't think they serve a big purpose. I really don't. It's a waste of ammo, but they're fun. And also, it's not the government's job to tell us what we can and can't own. My contention is that we can own whatever we want to own, and I get it. Every gun law is infringement. So that's not the thing that I thought I would fight for, but by golly, we'll fight for that one, and as we should be. So I can, on one hand, think, okay, it's a waste of ammo. On the other hand, go, but it's no one's job to tell me if I want to waste my ammo, I'm going to do it myself. Not unlike the bump stock ban. Let me get down here to it. This is from 2018. Y'all remember this? New York Times, Trump administration imposes ban on bump stock. And look down there in the bottom. This is straight from that day that it happened. Washington, bum, bum, bum. The Trump administration, he's so pro 2A. On Tuesday, issued a new rule banning bump stocks, the attachments that enable semi-automatic rifles to fire in sustained rapid-fire burst, and that a gunman used to massacre 58 people and wound hundreds of others at a Las Vegas concert in 2017. I'm not chasing that today. Maybe on another Tinfoil Tuesday. I just wanted to pause and go, they put that in the opening paragraph. They put Las Vegas in the opening paragraph. Well, we know what happened with that one. Straight from the archives of the DOJ, I pulled this one myself. Department of Justice announces bump stock type devices final rule. Guess what? Bing! We can own them. I've never owned one. I think they're dumb. But I think we have the right to own dumb stuff. I really hope y'all can get that I really think we should be able to own anything we want, including dumb stuff. I've never owned a bump stock, but that's pretty funny. Also, this is from Everytown for Gun Safety's actual website. I found it on there today. The Supreme Court struck down the federal ban on bump stocks in Garland versus Cargill. Here's what you need to know. They had to put this on their website. I think it's fantastic. The bottom line is this. We are in a day and age where they will come at us from any direction. I called Jared when I left church today. I said, Jared, just what's going on, buddy? I said, give me the bottom line. I think I know the bottom line, but I want to hear it from the horse's mouth. I said, FRTs are 1,000% legal, 100%. He goes, yeah, 100%. They are. And we need to keep it that way. And it's the right of the people to own whatever we want. And in walks this story. I think y'all are going to have an opinion on this, but I think it dovetails in perfectly. Again, for the first 2/3 of this video, thumbs up on Rare Breed. Okay, I said they're dumb. I'm kind of curious. You say 1022. Now you got my attention. We're gonna wear out some critters in the backyard. Nuisance animals. All right. This took place up in Northern Virginia. It's called Silver Eagle Group. This one just hit. Silver Eagle shooting range called the ATF on a man using an FRT, resulting in his arrest, with the ATF claiming it is a machine gun. They should be immediately boycotted and informed of the shooting community's displeasure. Contact info is below. Yeah, it's true. And I jumped over to Silver Eagle's website. They've got all sorts of NFA updates, ATF E-form status, ruling on stabilizing braces. They should know this stuff. They have multiple ranges. Some dude comes in there, rents a gun from him, drops in an FRT. They call the ATF, handcuffs, and is facing 5 years in federal prison for something that is nationally completely legal. Not legal in Virginia. My understanding, I could be wrong there. Now, the guy who got arrested, his lawyer jumped over to Reddit, and you can find it over in the VA Guns, Virginia Guns subreddit, and laid everything out. I'll post that right there, and you can jump over to Reddit and find that. But he says this guy, the guy that put the FRT in, is facing 5 years in federal prison. Spooky stuff. I found the actual case here. Superior Court for the District of Columbia Criminal Division, United States versus redacted. But all of this took place just recently. And then in steps a guy named Kenny. I don't know Kenny, but he's a YouTuber, and he says, hey, I checked out the Silver Eagle Group today. And you can find the video. I'm not showing it here because of all the boom, goes to Silver Eagle, drops in his own trigger into big ones and little ones, and let it rip. Super entertaining, and he got home safely, so he was fine. I wanted to mention that story because even when things are 100% legal federally, you've still got states, municipalities, or moron RSOs that are 100% thinking that they're 3-letter agencies, and you've got the 3-letter agencies themselves doing 3-letter agency stuff. All of that to say, 1, my voice is tired. I just went wild for a few minutes. 2, FRTs, they're good to go. And big thumbs up from me for them and NAGR for fighting this fight in Texas and New York. And they won. And we need to pay attention to that. So that's pretty doggone cool. Hey, if you've got experience with FRTs or you have an opinion on them, let me know right down below. Would love to hear what you say about the brrr in your life. I'll see y'all tomorrow on Tinfoil Tuesday. Until then, Jude Duke boys.
Spicy freedom from Johnson City. Spicy freedom from Johnson City. Spicy freedom from Johnson.
This gun fits my hand better than this one does.
Come on, Johnny B.